am Orlando Jones, and I just want you to know that the Moana Nui Podcast will be starting soon. Stay tuned, yo.
I'm Veronica Taylor, and from myself and Ash Ketchum, I just want to say, Moana Nui, I choose you!
Hey, my name is Alan Z. On behalf of Moana Nui Podcast, I have a very special guest with me at Rangerstop Orlando, and his name is
Joshua Seth.
For those of you guys that don't know, he played one of my favorite characters in one of my favorite shows, which I told him earlier, so I'll say it again. It's Hige from Digimon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alan. Welcome to the digital world.
So I'll start off with a tie-related question. I know that you did it for the original series. You also did it for Try and the final Digimon,
Last Evolution, Kizuna. Yeah.
So, like, I know,
24 years of Ty.
I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
like, do you feel like you keep going back to the character of Ty because you resonate with this character? And if so,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what ways
I
do you
think
feel?
Ty is probably based on my life, right?
Okay.
Like, didn't they? That's why they cast me. It was the typecasting. When I came back from the digital world, the creators were like, "Let's make a show." No, I keep going back because they keep casting me.
Oh, of course,
yes,
of course.
That's why.
But no, I was just wondering, like, because I mean, some people get tired of being certain characters, but
No, I'm so lucky to be known for that. I mean, I also have voiced a lot of psychopaths. I'm Tetsuo and Akira. The "leave me alone" meme. I'd rather be known as the quintessential anime hero, which is Ty, than the guy that explodes Neo Tokyo.
No, totally. I mean, if you think about it, like with like Pepsi and Coke, like Digimon, Pokemon, like Ty is essentially like digital Ash Ketchum. So it's like
exactly.
That's how iconic Ty is for Digimon fans.
Ty is to Ash Ketchum as Apple is to Microsoft.
Yeah, it's as similar as you can get, which is why I think like
more people have Microsoft.
Oh,
right.
We're starting little.
But Apple is better. Yeah.
I didn't say it. You
it's
did.
The same.
Yeah. You said it, not me.
Yeah.
I also had a question in terms of your other interests. So could you tell us a little bit more about you being a mentalist and a magician?
Yes, but as I'm a mentalist, I'm going to tell you telepathically.
Oh.
You got it?
I got it. You didn't get it though, but
no,
I
I'll
got
tell.
it.
Okay, for you guys, yeah. So, yes, I'm a mentalist, which is like a magician of the mind, and I do a comedy mind reading show at like theaters and events all over the country, all over the world, and it's why I left Los Angeles back around 2007, 2008. I actually quit voiceovers. The last series I did was Cyborg Soldier 9. I'm 9 on that. And then I sold my house, I moved out of LA, and I went on tour with my live stage show. And now, because voiceovers can be done remotely, now I'm back doing voiceovers and appearing at Comic-Cons, and that side of the career is back, but I also tour theaters with the live show. I love it. It's a deep passion of mine to always get on stage in front of live audiences and refine this show, which is based in psychology and reading body language and how to spot a liar and intuition, and it's more psychological than psychic or anything like that, but really amazing, astounding things happen with every audience. I really love doing that show to the point that I basically gave up my career in voiceovers in order to tour with that show. And I've done that show in 40-some countries, thousands of performances, and I had 2 TV specials in Japan and 3 in South Korea with translators.
So what sparked that? Because I mean, it does feel like a big jump from Digimon.
No synergy, right? Yeah. Well, when I first moved to Los Angeles in the 90s, my intention was to be a voice actor, but I wasn't making the bills doing that. But I'd always been a magician since I was a kid.
I see.
And I didn't want to wait tables or get a day job or an office job as a temp. This is what actors tend to do because that's normal for just about everybody. That it takes a while to establish yourself. And I always felt like, well, however you spend your time, like that's what you're going to end up doing. You know, if I don't make it as a voice actor, I better spend my time developing my skills and doing something that I love, which was magic. And then just over time throughout the 90s, I got better at both, basically. And by the early 2000s, I was able to make a living doing both, except that like there's limits on time and energy as to like how am I going to keep going. Eventually I couldn't keep going with both careers. Like you have to say no at some point, and choose one. But I actually went to film school. I went to NYU in New York, and I studied film, TV, and radio. It's probably film, TV, and podcasting now. Yeah. And the radio show is what gave me the ability to create a reel, to get an agent, to become a voice actor. Okay. But the other stuff, the film, the theater, the TV, the acting side is where I started to put together the stage show. So basically, I've had these two careers all the way along.
So being that you did go to school for film and TV, did you ever want to dabble in that field, like on screen? Like...
Totally, I still would, but I never got any traction doing on screen. I just like I was in one scene in the movie Chaplin. I was in one scene in Encino Man, stuff like that, like blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. But like I would get cast as a lead in a series for voiceovers. As an artist, as a performing artist, at some point you have to decide like, is this about you or is this about like making a career?
Yeah,
like
totally.
There are people that say, "Oh, I want to be on this show," right? Maybe you never get cast in that show, but the business says we value you over here, right? And the smart move is, well, I'm gonna like a surfer, right? I'm gonna go where the wave is. Totally. I'm not gonna stay in this spot. The wave is pulling me in that direction. I'm gonna go with it because you can't fight the ocean. Right. And voiceovers was like that for me. It was like, oh, I can do hundreds of voices, not just sound like this. Most of what I was cast at is sounding like this or like this, like some sort of version of my normal voice. Go with it.
Right. And I mean, voiceover is such a big industry now that like it's valued.
Now it's valued.
That's what I'm saying. Like now it's like you're a superstar in like so many different aspects of like
that's changed so much. I remember when Digimon the movie came out, I thought, my big break, right? The movie, like I'll be on the Tonight Show and I'll be doing interviews and things. The 20th Century Fox did not want the kids to know that the audience to know that there were real human beings voicing the characters. That was their stated position at the time. So they would promote like Smash Mouth for the song instead of
like Smash Mouth. I did it. Like I'm tired.
Right. Instead of any of the voice actors, and I'm like, well, you did it for Robin Williams, right? As Aladdin. Yeah, but he's already a known commodity. So. I had to hire my own publicist at the time to do a press junket. They didn't want anybody knowing. But that was when I was doing all of this work in voiceovers, that was before social media. Now, I think a big difference is that because of social media, fans have a direct connection to the voice actors, and anybody wanting to book us on an interview on a TV show or to do a Comic-Con appearance this, they can see, oh, you have a following, you have an engaged fan base. Back then, there was no way to know.
Right, there's no traction, you can't tell.
No.
Being that you're at
it's anonymous,
right? Yeah. Being that you're at a Power Rangers convention, what made you choose to participate in Rangerstop over like another convention this weekend?
Well, they asked me. Also, I owe my career as a voice actor to Power Rangers. I would not have gotten Tai on Digimon if not for Power Rangers.
Why is that?
Because the part of Alpha 5, which was originated by Richard Horvitz in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the English, was recast as me right at the end because I think he just moved on. Like he was Zim in Invader Zim by that point and doing other shows. For whatever reason, they brought me in to replace him for one season only, which was Power Rangers Turbo, which I think would have been like right around 1997. Okay. And I had worked with Saban, the production company for Power Rangers at the time, on several other series as a voice actor, but only in recording studios. I hadn't actually met anybody from Saban. But when I was working on Power Rangers, I went to the sound stage, saw the sets, met everybody in person, and including Chaim Saban and Scott Page-Paxer and Eric Rowland. And these are the names of the people that ran the studio of Saban at the time, and they were gearing up to launched this new network, which was Fox Kids. You remember Fox Kids?
Yes,
right?
I do.
So Fox Kids, the big flagship show, was Digimon. And
Right.
they were starting to cast for Digimon, and they had just met me as a new actor to them anyway, voicing Alpha 5, I, on Power Rangers Turbo. And they basically just handed me a picture of Ty and a paragraph. And they were like, read this in your normal voice, you know. My name's Ty. You know, let's go, guys. Let's save the digital world. Done. You know, and that was it. Like, it was hardly an audition process at all, because they already knew me and were working with me. And from Digimon, I got Akira and Trigun and Wolf's Rain and Cyber Soldier 9 and every other series that people know me as a voice actor for is as a result of my association with Saban through Power Rangers Turbo.
I'm blown away because I didn't now there's synergy. What you
Connect
just
it,
and it's
connecting it, yeah.
I thought it was going to be a very different answer, but that's amazing. Like I didn't know the history, and I think
I never even told people this story for years because I always feel a little bad about it because I don't consider Alpha 5 my role. It's Richard Horvitz's role,
right?
But these roles do get recast. I mean, we see that more and more now, especially, and it's become normal that maybe 2 or 3 different people will play different iterations of a character. Zeno Robinson played Ty for Digimon 2020. That was the only time that I wasn't Ty, and that was because that's like Digimon in the multiverse, and everybody sounded different. Ben Diskin did the voice of Agumon for that, making him sound like this, you know, instead of "Hi Ty," right? They wanted everybody to sound different, so that's not the actor's fault. Like that's their opportunity, honestly. But yes, like. He legitimately is that for that version, and I am Ty for everything else. I feel like that about Power Rangers. Like I am legitimately Alpha 5, but only for that one season. But I didn't even mention it for years because I felt like, you know, it's not really me. But it is part of my origin story as a voice actor. Like I absolutely owe my success as a voice actor to Power Rangers because it networked me into everybody and everything that came after.
Right. That's an amazing story. You know, I think that the origin of like from that to that, it's like it shows that something you consider to be like maybe a minor role can lead to a huge.
That's why you always do your best work.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Like as a stage actor, I've learned not to prejudge the audience. Like, let's say I step on stage and it's a big theater and it's only partly filled. Give it your all, like as though every seat is. So you don't know who's in that audience, right? And it's the same with every role. There's what was it, Sunset Boulevard? Norma Desmond, the character in it, is a great old black and white movie, by the way. She goes, it's not the actors that got small, the pictures got small, right? Like you be the biggest, best version of yourself, even if the role or the project you're working on isn't, because it's the only way that it leads to more and better opportunities.
Right. I do find that like when you do shows like with big shows versus smaller like intimate settings, there's different ways to manipulate it to make it like good for you. You know what I mean? Because it's like the different energy. Like if it's a smaller crowd, there's ways for you to win everyone over, and then. You know what I mean? Like versus big. So like no matter what, you make the best of your situation. Yeah,
exactly. Keep showing up, doing your best work, and don't worry about whether or not it's like a big role or a big project or not. Because I like to always say that creativity is an iterative process. Like nobody starts out a master at anything. You gotta keep doing the work. And if you do the work in a conscientious way, you know, whether you're a voice actor, on-camera actor, a singer, a dancer, a musician, a poet, a painter, whatever you happen to be, if it's in a creative field, the play is the thing, the work is the thing. Just keep doing it and don't worry about the rewards. They will come.
I think that's like the best way to end this interview. That was an amazing quote. An amazing Josh Seth.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Is there any last words you want to share? I know you wanted to maybe talk about social media or upcoming projects. If you do have any,
like and follow, smash that button, whatever. Yeah, follow me on all the social medias, and I will see you at a con.
Which one?
Yeah, I'm at a convention like almost every weekend.
No.
These days.
Your Instagram handle.
My Instagram, Joshua.Seth.
Joshua.Seth.
And on TikTok, I think it's JoshuaSethofficial. And on Twitter, it's JoshuaSeth. And on Facebook, it's official JoshuaSeth. And the website is joshuaseth.com. And you get the idea.
Just type in JoshuaSeth and you'll find it.
Whatever. You'll find it. Yeah. All right.
Guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work of all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work of all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.